Teacher 10 at magtuturo sa inyo ng Mathematics Module for Grade 10. At ang topic po natin ngayon ay Generating Patterns. Bago po tayo magsimula, magre-review muna tayo kung ano yung pattern at sequence. At base sa kanilang definition, a pattern is a series of sequence that repeats, while a sequence is a list of things, usually numbers, that are in order. Ngayon po ay sasagutan natin yung mga questions na andoon sa module nyo at i-explain ko po kung paano natin nakuha yung mga sagot. Which of the following does not show a sequence? So, first, letter A, K-12 curriculum. Letter B, months of a year. Letter C, body temperature. And letter D, counting numbers. So, makikita po natin dito sa picture na nakikita nyo sa screen, yung K-12 curriculum ay meron siyang sequence which is from kindergarten or 5-year-old hanggang grade 12 or 17 years old. Next po, yung months of year at makikita nyo sa picture dito sa screen na meron tayong sequence which is from January hanggang December. Yung counting numbers po naman, yung sequence niya ay from 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at yung body temperature po ang sagot natin dahil wala siyang sequence, paiba-iba yung body temperature, wala siyang pattern na basis kung anong magiging body temperature mo. Next question. Which of the following is a finite sequence? Walang hanggan. At saka yung finite, yun naman yung may hangganan. So, sa choices ng tanong, letter A is negative even numbers. Letter B, even numbers below 100. Letter C, even numbers greater than 1. And letter D, even numbers between 10 and 50. So, pag nakikita natin yung mga sagot, yung letter D, meron siyang condition which is from between 10 and 50 lang. So because of this condition, masasabi natin ito yung finite sequence kasi meron siyang hangganan which is from 10 and 50. In the sequence negative 1, 4, negative 9, 16, negative 25. Yung choices po is 64, 81, 60, negative 81, negative 64, at saka 81. So, yung una nating tingnan is ang sequence. Makikita po natin na pabago-bago yung signs. Katulad nito, negative 1, positive 4, negative 9, positive 16, negative 25. Yung pabago-bagong sequence sign, yung formula niyan is just negative 1 raised to the power of n. Next, pag nakikita natin yung sequence na ito is square sila. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng square? That's just 1 raised to the power of 2, 2 raised to the power of 2, 3 raised to the power of 2, 4 raised to the power of 2, and 5 raised to the power of 2. So, i-combine natin yung dalawang idea natin para makuha natin yung nth term. So, yung nth term is just negative 1 raised to the power of n combined, which is multiplied by n raised to the power of 2. Kasi since 9th term yung ating kunin, substitute lang natin yung n, magiging 9. So, makikita po natin is nth term is equals to negative 1 raised to the power of 9 times 9 raised to the power of 2. Negative 1 raised to the power of 9 is just negative 1, and 9 raised to the power of 2 is 81. So, negative 1 multiplied by 81 is equals to negative 81. Ito ng mga values. So, 20th term, yung gagawin natin, yung n magiging 20 to. So, 20th term is equals to negative 1 raised to 20 divided by 20 squared. So, negative 1 raised to 20 is equals to 1 and 20 squared is equals to 400. So, yung sagot po natin is 1 over 400. 4 terms of the sequence, 5n minus 1. So, ito po yung choices natin, 5, 1, 15, 2, letter B, 6, 11, 16, 21, letter C, 4, 9, 14, 19, at letter D, 5, 9, 13, 17. So, paano po natin sasagutan yan? Let's check our formula. So, the first 4 terms of the sequence is, ang gagawin natin is yung n is gagawin nating number 1 for the first sequence. So, magiging first sequence is equals to 5 times 1 minus 1 equals to 5 minus 1, and the first sequence therefore is 4. Next po, second sequence magiging 5 times 2 minus 1, which is 10 minus 1, and the second sequence is 9. Third is 5 times 3 minus 1, which is 15 minus 1, which is equals to 14. And the fourth is 5 times 4, which is equals to 20 minus 1 at magiging 19. So yung sagot po natin is letter C, which is 4, 9, 14, 19. And letter D, n squared plus 1. So tingnan natin. Pag nakikita nyo, yung formula natin, yung sequence natin is 2, 5, 10, 17, 26. Base po dyan yung sequence sa n squared. Kasi n squared is equals to 1, yung 2, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. Ito po yung sequence ng squared. So, yung gagawin natin, lalagyan lang po natin ng plus 1. Yung 4, magiging 5, at saka yung 9, magiging 10, yung 17, yung 16, magiging 17, 25, magiging 26. So, yung sagot po natin is just n squared plus 1. Negative 1 half, 1 fourth, negative 1 sixth, 1 eighth, negative 1 tenth. Yung sagot po sa module is negative 1 squared divided by 2n. Pero yung sagot ko dyan is iba. At meron kayong tamang sagot, pwede nyo ring i-share at i-comment sa aking video. Pero ito po yung sagot ko dyan. Dahil pabago-bago o meron siyang alternating signs yung sequence, gagawin ko po is kukunin ko yung formula ng negative n raised to the power of 2. Next po, makikita po natin yung denominator is multiplied by 2 or pwedeng magiging 2 times n. So, kukuha po tayo ng sample ng second term at saka third term. Ito po yun. Yung ginawa ko po is yung second term is negative 1 raised to the power of n, which is the second term, times 2 times n, which is also number 2. Magiging negative 1 squared is 1. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Second term is equals to 1/4. Tama ba? Tama. Next term, the third term. Yung third term is negative 1 raised to n, which is the third term. 2 times 3, dahil third term siya. So, negative 1 raised to 3 is equals to negative 1 divided by 6. Because 2 times 3 is 6. So, the third term is negative 1/6. So yung aking sagot po dyan is the nth term is equals to negative 1 raised to the power of n divided by 2 times n. Four terms of the sequence 2, 3, 5, at saka 8. Ang mga sagot, letter A, 12, 17, 22, 27. Letter B, 12, 20, 33, 54. Letter C, 13, 21, 34, 55. At letter D, 13, 18, 23, 28. Ito pong sequence na ito is actually special na sequence dahil ito po ay considered as Fibonacci sequence. Ano po ba yung Fibonacci sequence? Yung Fibonacci sequence is yung sum ng previous term at ang term before that. Katulad nito, yung sum ng 2 at saka ng term before that, which is 3, is 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. So the next term will be the sum of these two terms. 3 plus 5 is equals to 8. And then, para masagot natin yung the next fourth term, ito po yung gagawin natin. Ito po yung formula. Next term is equals to 5, which is this, plus 8 is equals to 13. 13 is the next term. Then 8 plus 13 is 21. Meron na tayong 21 dito. 13 plus 21 is 34. At saka 21 plus 34 is equal to 55. So the next fourth term is 13, 21, 34, 55. Consider the figure which is shown below. Ito po, yung figure na to, makikita po sa mouse pointer ko. What is the nth term of the sequence? Yung sagot A, n plus 1 divided by n. B, n times n plus 1 divided by 2. C, 2n divided by n plus 1. D, n squared plus 1 divided by n. So, based po sa module, yung ating sagot is letter B, n times n plus 1 divided by 2. Paano naging n, B yung sagot? Ito po yung solution dyan. Yung first na gagawin natin is rearrange natin yung dots. Kanina parang pyramid yon, ngayon ito, ginawa natin parang naka-right triangle siya. Okay? Wala po akong dinagdag na dots. Binago ko lang yung arrangement ng dots. Okay? Next is, para gagawin natin is i-double natin yung dots. So, times 2 tayo ng dots para magiging rectangle yung ating dots. So, pag nakita nyo, nag-double ako dito, nag-add ako ulit, para maging rectangle na siya, tsaka dito at dito rin. Yung formula ng area ng rectangle is length times width. So para makuha mo yung formula or yung area nito or magkaano sila lahat, gagawin mo lang is yung length multiplied by its width. Represent natin yung length as letter N at saka yung width is N plus 1. Bakit naging N plus 1? Kasi pag tiningnan mo, yung N dito is 3 lang. Yung N naman dito, yung dots dito is 3 at saka may dinagdag tayo na isa. Katulad din dito, dito at saka dito, may dinagdag lang na isa. Kaya nga ginawa siyang N plus 1. For the area of the rectangle, the total dots o yung ilang dots dito, pwede you can compute it by the formula n times n plus 1 if it is a rectangle. Pero yung sa question natin, triangle yon. So yung dinagdag natin na times 2, kukunin na natin, so magiging n times n plus 1 divided by 2 na kasi nga kinuha na natin yung dinoble natin kanina. So that's why the answer was n times n plus 1 all over 2 because of this explanation. And follows the rule subtract 2 then multiplied by 3 when starting with number 5. A 5, 7, 21, 69. B 5, 3, 6, 4, 12. C 5, 9, 14, 36. At letter D 5, 3, 9, 7, 21. Yung sagot is letter D, pero paano? Siyempre, based on the question, lahat sila magsa-start sa number 5. Next is yung gagawin natin is subtract 2. So 5 minus 2 is equals to 3. So ito po yon. Yung 5 minus 2 magiging 3, which is shown in the question. Then multiplied by 3. So yung 3 na to times 3 is equals to 9. Subtract 2. 9 minus 2 is equals to 7. And multiplied by 3. 7 times 3 is equals to 21. So D is the answer with this explanation. Ordered pair in the pattern 1 and 6, 3 and 18, 5 and 30. So the first thing is what we need to do is to analyze the pattern. Yung mga sagot, letter A, 7 and 49, B, 7 and 42, C, 8 and 56, and D, 8 and 64. Pag nakikita natin yung pattern, yung second term, they're all divisible by 2 and 6. Pero yung sagot dyan, syempre kukunin natin yung higher na divisibility, kaya nga magiging ganito. The first term is just multiplied by 6. Kaya nga naging 1 and 6. The second term is 3 multiplied by 6, magiging 18. Third is 6 times 5, magiging 30. So, fourth term will just be 6 times 7 is equals to 42. Negative 1 raised to the power n plus 1 multiplied by n minus 1 times n plus 2 all over n. What is the fifth term? So, yung gagawin natin, substitute lang natin yung fifth term to letter n. So, ganito po. So, instead of n, magiging 5. This n magiging 5. This n magiging 5 din. Next. So, negative 1 raised to the power of 5 plus 1 magiging 6. 5 minus 1 magiging 4. 5 plus 2 magiging 7. Fifth term, negative 1 raised to the power of 6 is equals to 1 times 4 times 7 times 5. So 1 times 4 times 7 is 28 divided by 5. So yung answer po natin is letter A, 28 all over 5. First term is 32, second term is 36, and third term is 40. So ito po yung first term natin, second term, at saka yung third term. So anong gagawin natin from 32 magiging 36. So based sa answer dito, A multiplied by 4, B plus 4, C multiplied by 4 plus 28, and letter D is multiplied by 4 plus 32. So from 32 magiging 36, yung difference nila is 4. So yung answer ng rule is first term plus 4 is equals to 36. Ito po yun. Instead of x, magiging 32 siya, plus 4 is equals to 36, at saka yung 36 plus 4 is equals to 40. So the answer is letter B, x plus 4. Infinite sequence. Letter A, that is 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. Pag nakikita natin, meron lang tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Limang numbers sa sequence na to. So this is a finite sequence. Hindi po ito infinite sequence. Next question, next answer is letter B, English alphabets. And alam po naman natin na meron tayong only 26 letters from A to Z. So since 26 lang siya, it is a finite sequence. Letter C, first 20 whole numbers. First 20 whole numbers is only composed of 20 numbers. Finite sequence yan. So the answer is letter D, which is 10, 50, 25, 12.5, because meron tayong 3 dots dito, which means ito po yung continuation. Okay? Pag meron kang continuation, kahit na mag-negative pa siya, negative 1 million something, still magko-continue yung numbers sequence dito. So yung infinite sequence natin is letter D because of these 3 dots na walang hanggan yung kanyang sequence. Question is, Madison has the number pattern 5, 3, 8, 6, 11. For a homework problem, she says that the number pattern adds 5 to the first number and then subtract 2 to get the next number. Did Madison correctly describe the pattern? A. No, the pattern adds 5 to the first number and then subtract 2. B. No, the pattern subtract 2 to the first number and then adds 5. C. No, the pattern adds 3 to the first number and then adds 4. And letter D. Yes, Madison description of the pattern is correct. So, yung gagawin natin is, ito po yung pattern, 5, 3, 8, 6, 11. Yung sabi ni Madison, yung first is mag-add. First is, yung gagawin natin is from 5, mag-subtract tayo ng 2. So, try, mag-add tayo ng 5, I mean. First is add 5, as shown here. So, 0 plus 5 is equals to 5. Then, subtract tayo ng 2. That is 5 minus 2 is equals to 3. 3 plus 5 is equals to 8. Subtract tayo ng 2 dito. 8 minus 2 is 6. And 6 plus 5 is 11. So, based on this, we can conclude that the answer is letter D because the description of the pattern is correct.